all signs point to this, as Montreal's AHL system is likely going to be a bit scarce, as Montreal's likely making some big moves at the NHL level. And with Laval going so good right now, we got a quote from one article that indicates Kent Hughes may be making some more sneaky moves than we thought. We got to dive into that whole thing going on in Laval and what's happening there. Plus, we got a Jake Evans trade update linking him to another team, and a little note on Michael Hage, who scored an absolute beauty of a goal. We got to talk about him relative to other freshmen scoring, all that coming up on this episode of Habs Digest. Oh, look at that. So let's just dive right into it. And I want to start, Jesse, by just showing Hage's comparisons to all the other under 19 seasons right now in the NCAA. And yeah, he's in the lead. He's in the lead in terms of points per game, unless you count Max Plante, who's only played 15 games for Minnesota Duluth. But right now, Michael Hage, 32 points, Jesse. He's leading James Higgins. He's leading Cole Hudson. My gosh, cool to see Cole Hudson there. He's leading Cole Eiserman, Teddy Stiga, all these other draft pedigree guys. He's the number one guy right now. He's been playing amazing, and this goal just shows it. How impressed have you been with him? My gosh, it just gets better every day. 13 goals now in 29 games.
I'm just so impressed, and it's actually like adding a lot of credence to the people that believe that Michael Hage could be a first-line player in the NHL. Believe me, they're out there. Ask your friends, and it's maybe not like at the center position, but I mean, as a winger, all the same, like that would be phenomenal. And Michael Hage has been like doing versions of this all year, Josh. Like we've been reporting, we've been seeing this, but having you notice, like it's gotten better. It's gotten a little bit more complete. Now it's coast to coast. He was kind of doing this from the neutral zone in, and now he's just taking ownership completely over that ice. Like the great vision, attacking the space, the amazing hands, and then the elite finish. Yes, I said elite finish to really get it done. So that's what we're seeing from Hage. Like this transformation of a player that is better than we expected. He's really just showing out this complete year in Michigan, and he's reminding me of somebody, Josh, within our system. Right. And that person is Cole Caufield. Woo. That was the last person that we saw from the NCAA really lighting it up in the offensive capacity. Is he exactly that player? They play a different kind of style, but I think that's a great benchmark of somebody that Michael Hage is really setting his sights on, of a player that he'd like to become just like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at the numbers too. I mean, they're backing it up. And again, the goal scoring is one of these more like underrated aspects. Like, yeah, Michael Hage is doing great. We know he's got 32 points in 29 games, but as a freshman 18-year-old coming in, is he 19 now? He might not be. I'm not sure. I think he is. But still, regardless, coming in and having 13 goals in 29 games, you look at this list. The only other one that's above him is Cole Eiserman. And guess what? He is known for his goal scoring. That is like the thing that Cole Eiserman is known for. And Hage has more goals than all these other guys. And in terms of assists, it's just James Higgins, who's probably not going to go first overall, but he was in that conversation. He still is for this upcoming draft. And Cole Hudson, who's a defenseman and who's having an unbelievable season. Everyone else has fewer assists. It's just unbelievable. We got to share the Michael Hage praise when we can, because I think a lot of you guys want him to join the Habs sooner than later. Leave us your thoughts down below on Hage. Like, I don't know about this season, maybe next season, but hey, he is impressing us nonetheless. But Jesse, I want to move on because look, the Habs center position right now, there are some question marks, and this actually goes well into the final topic as well, talking about some trades that Kent Hughes may likely make, but I want to talk about Evans again. And in a recent, well, there's been a few recent articles talking about where Evans can go, and this one actually comes from HockeyBuzz.com. Now, again, whether this is reliable or not, that's for you to decide, but we just take it because I think that this actually makes a lot of sense, which is why we're talking about it. He said, look, it's not beyond the realm of possibility the Canadiens keep him, but I want to jump to the end where he says, lately I was informed the Kings and Oilers have both checked in. Again, not sure whether this is necessarily a valid source, but I wanted to highlight the Kings specifically because, and this article will also be linked down below, because it's not just like, oh, look, he's linked to the Kings. We've talked about him before because they genuinely seem like a great fit. And a recent article as well from Rink Royalty, which I will link down below as well, the Kings writers website, they said the Kings need an upgrade at 4C, and that is one of their top priorities at this deadline. They need center. Right now, Trevor Lewis is playing that role, but he's not making much of an impact. Longtime Kings player, just surpassed 1,000 career games. It's great, but it's a spot the Kings may want to upgrade internally with Samuel Hellenius, but as the Kings call around the league, it's a position they should be keeping in mind. And Jesse, as we know, Jake Evans' stats, he is that perfect 4C for a team like the LA Kings. I think he would fit great. And hey, you might even be able to get a guy like Samuel Hellenius back in a trade. I don't know if they'd be willing to do that. It might cost a bit more, but he's also a defensive-minded center that could come up soon. But hey, if they want to win now, what better 4C on the market than a guy like Jake?
Yeah, and they're looking for a little bit of improvement over a vet, long-term player that they have there in Trevor Lewis. They're also looking for more 20-goal scorers. They only have 2 on the team right now. Now, Jake Evans isn't quite that, but pretty close. Now, for me, if I'm Kent Hughes, I'm willing to trade Jake Evans to anybody but the Leafs, Marc Bergevin,
Yeah.
and anybody in the Eastern Conference. Okay, I know we're driving a tough bargain when it comes to him, but we like this player, just that attitude so much of what he kind of brings. We're also hearing the Oilers. You have to feel like there is just so many teams. Like, what team couldn't use a Jake Evans, and I know the whole thing again is like, okay, we can't play like a fourth liner, third liner money. It's like, but this season, isn't he kind of playing like a pretty good 3C? Isn't he like kind of comparatively a lot better than a lot of 3Cs in this league? So maybe that's the one hope that they can kind of figure it out, is maybe they're paying him, but maybe a little bit more for that 3C type role. Now that might be a stretch, for him to hold on to that. We want to say we're grasping at straws at this point in time, because we just want our boy to stick around, mostly because of that character as well, Josh. I just can't shake that effect.
No, I know. I love everything about Jake Evans when he plays on the ice, off the ice, all these kind of things. And hey, look, teams are going to be asking for him. A team that needs a good 4C, he's the perfect guy for them, right? The cap hit is of that of a 4C, but like, even if you play him at 4C, he'll be on your first penalty kick. Can you imagine a PK with Evans and Danault on it? Oh my gosh, right? Like, that is terrifying. So these
Fishing hockey.
Oh, well, yeah, it's fantastic. Like, oh my gosh. But again, I'd ideally like to not trade him to that team for some reasons that you mentioned, but I want to know what you guys have to say, because there's going to be a lot of teams linked to him. But again, if Montreal is able to, create a bidding war out of this, you might be able to get some kind of solid prospects, some good draft capital, and teams that are really looking for a guy like that, they might be willing to pay a lot. But Jesse, again, as we talk more and more about Jake Evans leaving the lineup, as we got a lot of centers in the team and even wingers that might not be here long term, we're talking Evans might be gone this deadline, if not maybe this offseason. Dvorak almost certainly this offseason. Yoel Armia is going to be gone. Michael Pezzetta, he's going to be a UFA. He's probably not going to get re-signed, but who knows at this point? There's a lot of question marks. So there's a lot of talk about what Montreal is going to do heading into this deadline and heading into the offseason. But there was a great article on Montreal Hockey Now that I'll link down below. And they actually point out a very interesting fact. They said, while the playoffs are going to be a difficult task to achieve for the Habs, their AHL affiliate, the Laval Rocket, are currently the top team in the league. Well, as of the recording of this video, they're in the middle of a game where Owen Beck has 2 goals, but they had dropped down to third. They might actually be back in first by the time if they win. There's a lot of weird things going on. I'll show you the standings in a second, but regardless, but with the NHL trade deadline looming, they'd be well served by reinforcing the farm, or at the very least, they'll be doing the organization a favor by not removing any important player from the lineup due to a trade or any other roster movement. So again, that opens up a lot of questions here, because if you do just blow up, Evans is gone, Dvorak's gone, Armia's gone, and you don't really want to play Pezzetta, you're going to be grasping at straws down in Laval to see who you can get scoring for you again. Like Jared Davidson, second on the team in scoring, him and Laurent Dauphin. So those guys might not be called up, but guys like Owen Beck, guys like Joshua Watt, guys like Logan Mailloux, they very well could be called up to Montreal depending on the situation. We've seen Beck and Mailloux already called up. Joshua was back playing again. Beck has 2 goals in the game today. He might have more by the time we record this. So with Laval doing so well, and again, as of the recording, 63 points, but they should win against Rochester right now. That will shoot them, right back up to first. What do you think about this, Jesse? What do you think about Kent Hughes making some more sneaky moves to bolster Laval? We already saw one this year, acquiring Noel Hoffenmeyer, who has looked like a fantastic addition for Jacob Perreault. But to me, it's these smaller moves that could really set a good precedent, not only for, keeping Laval afloat, but to keep all the guys happy and keeping a winning culture down there and in the main club.
Yeah, because that's what it's going to translate to with Montreal, is getting players that know how to win, because this is a big development. We're looking at 5 of the top 6 point getters for the Montreal Canadiens, or rather for the Laval Rocket, soon to be Montreal Canadiens for much of them, are actually drafted by the Canadiens. And this is different. In past years, a lot of our top point getters have been kind of castaways from some other teams. So again, this is showing some really good drafting. And then obviously that development is coming into fruition, which is a big part of that. That's now taking that next step to the NHL, which is huge. So you have to feel like that's a part of that. They're going to nurture that. Laval's their baby right now. And it's so amazing that is going well. And we're even hearing that David Reinbacher can be back in about a week's time. We're seeing, footage of him out in Brassard, which is just phenomenal. Again, he's kind of healing a little bit quicker. Hats off to the medical staff again for making that happen. But it's going to be a collective effort, because right now we saw Mailloux's out with maybe just a little bit of an injury. You can't expect for that to be too long right now. But definitely they're going to put Laval really in a place to really succeed to finish off this season
I
here.
can't wait to see what happens because, again, bolstering Laval is going to do a lot for not only Laval, but again for Montreal. It's that bigger impact thing. These moves that seem small on the surface can really mean a lot. And that's why we got to just let Kent Hughes go and cook because right now, this is the time of year to do it. Whether it's a big NHL move, which he might be cooking as well. We're talking guys like Zegras, like Cousins, like Dobson, whatever it may be. But these little sneaky moves down on Laval, just like they did with Hoffenmeyer, they pay some big dividends. So let us know what you guys think because I think these are going to be some under the radar important moves from Montreal going forward. But hey, you know what? We'll talk about that when we get to it, I suppose. It's fun to discuss this stuff. That'll do it for this episode of Habs Digest. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.